What happens in movies or TV that seems to be normal and you think to yourself that is not what people in real life do? Whenever a simple miscommunication happens, no ever stops and clarifies with the other person. Like if one 10 seconds conversation can derail an entire plot thread, I am not interested. Unpopular, but never actually ugly. Teenager wakes up in their huge upstairs bedroom. The room probably has some kind of bay window or unique ceiling slope. In the 90s and early 2000s they would of course have their own desktop computer. You only briefly see all of this because they are of course late for school, so they run out to their good looking parents and siblings already eating a full sit down breakfast. No explanation is given as to why these siblings are also late for school. Anyway, main character grabs a single slice of plain toast and skateboards to school through a quaint town square. This always got me about teen movies. They always have huge gorgeous bedrooms that look like they're out of an IKEA catalog. My room was so small growing up that it wouldn't fit a full bed and a dresser, and my furniture was a mashup of my childhood bedroom set and stuff we weren't using around the house anymore. Mayo. School buses honking and waiting for kids that are still in the house. If I wasn't at the bus stop when the bus arrived, it would drive on by. It didn't stop. It didn't honk. It didn't wait. I've had buses drive on by when there were people at the bus stop. Person goes to the toilets to throw up, or maybe they were coughing up blood. Do they rinse out their mouth like normal people? No. They wash their face and suddenly everything is okay? Also, how people cling to the toilets. Bonus points if it's a public restroom. I try to minimize my contact with toilets and there's no way I'd hug a toilet in a public restroom. Dreaming of kissing a beautiful woman, but actually you're just being licked by a freaking animal. No joke, I was having this dream where I was eating lunch with my friend. Then out of nowhere he sat next to me and tried to breastfeed on my armpit and started to knead it like how a cat makes bread. I wake up and look over and the kitten we recently adopted was trying to latch onto my armpit hair and was making bread on it too. Just like the dream. On the phone making plans. Okay, meet me at 5 sure, and that's the whole plan. Where are you meeting? Planning to meet someone in a public place never goes this smoothly. One thing that drives me berserk in movies is when someone is driving and talking to their passenger. They refuse to keep their eyes on the road and insist on making prolonged eye contact with the person next to them. In the movies this often means a jump scare car crash is about to happen. I'd like to say that's unrealistic, but my mom used to drive that way all the time. I hated going anywhere with her. This fills me with unease even when I know for a fact that they're not going to crash. I find myself saying out loud, "Look at the road. Look at the damn road. Ah." Having highly confidential conversations about 4 foot away from the people they are talking about and not being overheard. Hey, I know we're in a diner in Brooklyn and there's about 30 other people here, but I need you to commit first-degree murder on someone. When women run around in heels with perfect hair and makeup, and the dirt and sweat makes their hair and makeup look even better. Looking at you. Jurassic World. My go-to on that is Megan Fox in the second Transformers movie. She's running around caves in the desert and never gets a speck of dirt on her white tank top and white pants. In horror movies, everyone runs upstairs. If there was something chasing you, wouldn't head for the door to get outside. Also, you're creeped out in the house but you never turn on the light. Also, their ability to sleep peacefully at night after experiencing paranormal activity in the house. Being a young, aspiring artist, writer, actor living alone in a nice, spacious apartment in a prime area of a big city like New York or LA. Freaking Zootopia got it right, for God's sake. Tiny, crappy apartment with paper walls and neighbors who scream all night. Getting hit over the head and knocked out, then just waking up later on and acting like they just have a small hangover. And anyone can be instantly knocked out cold by hitting them with the butt of a gun to the back of the head. Hand someone a burner phone. Keep this on you day and night. It rings. You better answer. Okay. Do you have the charger? The what? This phone. Did it come with a charger? It's not USB. It has one of those cylindrical ports, like on an old Nokia. Look pal. Hey, you're the one giving out phones. It's charged now. How did you charge it? To be fair, those old phones had like a week of standby time on the battery, but your point is still valid. Answers phone. Hello listens to the caller for 1 second. What do you mean Tim got kidnapped by a drug cartel while he was shopping with his family in his trip to South America? On TV house parties where everyone is evenly spread out throughout the house having one-on-one conversations while generic techno plays in the background. 30 people dancing in the living room. Maybe 4 people quietly conversing in the kitchen. No one sitting outside smoking. No one in the bathroom. No one in the bedrooms unless the main character needs to have sex that second or to find their BFGF husband-wife cheating on them. No groups of girls sitting together talking. No small groups of guys talking to girls. I'm doing something. My visiting sister comes out of the shower in a towel. Just as my wife, who has never seen my sister, comes home. I scream I can explain, then stay silent and guilty looking. Wearing shoes on their others' beds. Like who actually does that? It's literally just to eliminate the 20 seconds it would take them to take off tie their shoes to QCT like normal people. The amount of ultimatums in romantic movies is appalling. No real relationship can last if you're at the point of an ultimatum. You're just putting a dysfunctional relationship on life support for another week or 2. People don't stop doing stupid crap, they just learn to hide it from you better. After sex, the couple just gets dressed or lays in bed for the night. The woman would be leaking, and if the guy is wearing a condom wouldn't they want to take it off before going to bed or getting dressed? Right. No post-sex wash-up to prevent UTIs. No maneuvering around the wet spot. Be a struggling writer while living in a multi-million-dollar mansion. That one always puzzles me. Or, a family moves into an expensive house, but neither parent has a job lined up yet. How'd that loan approval process go? You frauds? You can't tell me they could all pay cash. I sort of want a movie where they move into a nice house that's cheap because it's horribly haunted, but the family doesn't give a crap because real estate is freaking insane these days. People opening the oven only to be surprised and oh no to a completely black roast turkey meat of some kind, and then have smoke just billowing out of the oven. Number 1, it takes a while to do that much damage to a meat, not like 5 minutes. Like IDK unless you are broiling your turkey at 280°/550°F for some ungodly reason. 2, you'll see smoke coming out before you open the oven. 3, seriously how do you overcook something that badly? Stop it, it takes so much effort to be that bad at cooking. Just know, if dinner is at 6 PM and it's now 610 or 615, your dish won't be black and smoky and inedible. Maybe it'll suck and taste worse but it won't be black as crap. Stop this nonsense. Come over to a friend's place. Stay there for all of 30 seconds to talk about something plot relevant, and then just leave right away. Taking turns talking, like in cop shows when one cop begins an explanation, then the next one picks up the story at a seamlessly convenient spot, then the third adds, but, and throws in some more. No one in real life has ever talked like that. This is a direct call out to Criminal Minds, I think. The way they do this is criminally bad. Hotch, we're looking for a white male. Garcia, in his mid-40s. Morgan, he suffers from severe paranoid delusions. JJ, and believes his victims are his mother who tortured him and forced him to wear a potato sack over his head while railing C on the edge of a 42-story building. Eating a few bites of your food, then get summoned by someone for something or leave. It does not work like that FFS. Nobody wastes food so abundantly. Here's a strange one. Pay attention to how the actors hold their beverages, especially coffee cups. Often it's pretty obvious that they are empty as they fling it around carelessly without anything spilling. Yeah, this one is on par with actors eating egg. Big Bang Theory. If you pay closer attention you will see them play with their food with a fork and actually eat only when it is supposed to amplify the comedic event. When people in the movies or TV are on a phone call, the pauses where the other person saying something are always so short that they'd barely have time to say 2 words. Like, that's not how it works. Pretty much every computer screen where a character does anything moderately complex, everything on their screen is in like a Tron color scheme with wireframe images flying all over the place. Hang on, I can access this secret server through a VPN, but first let me get in a quick game of hyperchase. The stupid slow motion kiss or hug as the world is falling apart. I'm like freaking go, you can do all that crap later. Not a movie show, but you'd like the main character of A Deadly Education by the sound of this. Minor spoiler, someone tries to do this to her as an explosion is about to happen and they get kneed in the crotch. Preparing a huge 5-star breakfast. Pancakes, waffles, fruit, biscuits, oatmeal, omelette, etc. that no one eats. I don't even understand why that's a thing in movies and TV shows. Sorry honey, I'm running late, and then takes a sip of coffee and holds a piece of toast with his mouth while running out the door with a suitcase. Also, you gotta have the teenager of the family eating a bowl of cereal while there's literally pancakes, waffle, biscuits, omelette and a filet mignon on the table. No one ever asks someone to repeat themselves like they all have perfect hearing and no other noise distractions can exist. Giant breakfast made by mom that looks like it took 4 hours to make. Everyone sit down for 1 second, takes a bite and then leaves. The dad comes through, grabs a piece of toast and puts it in his mouth, then runs out putting his jacket on. The kids are halfway through their cereal when the school bus arrives, and they are rushed out the door. None of the cornucopia of food is eaten. Not a behavior thing necessarily, but in a crime show when they zoom in and the picture is blurry and pixelated, so they press a button and the picture becomes instantly crystal clear. That's not how photos work. In movies, it seems like architects are overrepresented as a profession by like 1000%, and yet there are very few movies about architects. I've never known an architect, but they're everywhere in Hollywood productions. Keanu Reeves is an architect in The Lake House. Woody Harrelson is an architect in Indecent Proposal. Adam Sandler is an architect in Click. And on and on and on. Charles Bronson is an architect in Death Wish. For frick's sake. Instantly drying, even though they just jumped into water fully clothed. Also getting super dirty. However, it magically disappears in the next scene. Crawls out of the pool, picks up a towel, goes in the house to answer a call, and the only thing is damp hair. Take a blurry image or video on screen, enhance it, becomes crystal clear with all new information and detail on the first attempt. 2 pixel image from a CCTV, sees a license plate, zoom in, zooms in, enhance, cleans up the image 3 times until you can't not only read the numbers but you notice a scratch of yellow paint on the bumper from the accident that proves he's the killer. People getting in really bad car wrecks, like car flipping over half a dozen times after getting T-boned by a fully loaded semi, just to hop out of the car and walk away practically unscathed. Spent years as an EMT, and in rollovers, it always seems like the patient is either seriously messed up, or absolutely fine. Hardly ever a middle ground. The way teen culture is portrayed, particularly in America, those scenes where an embarrassing pic is sent to every single person in school, like, who has absolutely everybody else in the school's phone number, social media stored in their phone, and how many people IRL would actually do something like that? Those parties that are thrown when someone's parents aren't home, which literally everyone is somehow able to attend. Always eating out, buying coffee, going to bars. What teenager has the money for that? The amount of sex these teens seem to be having. I'm Australian, so it might just be different here, but is America really like that? Scientists who somehow know everything about all of science outside their specialty. Like in Modern Family, how Alex is an undergrad who somehow builds robots, runs DNA sequencing, and studies theoretical physics at the South Pole. Physicists do physics. Chemists do chemistry. Biologists do biology. Not a ton of overlap in real life. All sitting on the same side of the table while eating and fully turning around in the car to have a conversation with people behind them while driving. When a woman rejects a man and he keeps pestering her with gifts and attention until she changes her mind. In real life, that's called stalking harassment and she won't appreciate it. When the bad guy gets shot in the head and he dies staring up at his forehead like he saw when the bullet entered his head. Sleeping darts in spy movies. Shoots a dart and hits someone, instantly going to sleep, and then waking up after. Putting someone to sleep is very hard to do, and dangerous. Just a little bit too much drugs, and you die. Just a little bit too weak, and you're not asleep. Anesthesiologists make very good money for a very good reason. Average guy being kept in the loop just because they happen to be a witness. You saw the alien going into the sewer system. We'll need you and your input all the way through. Just showing up to people's houses uninvited to talk to them or get info. Happens in every sitcom. In real life it would be, can I stop by after work to talk? Can't do today, I have Pilates. People that open doors and never close them. Also, people that splash cold water in their faces and look in the mirror to indicate a character is upset. It's particularly strange in public washrooms. Dude, how are you going to dry your face? And what about getting your tie wet? Now that's just been replaced with person upset, therefore they throw up. Really? People bath that easily? I don't remember which show it was, but I think there were 4 episodes in a row where, to indicate that a character was upset, they vomit. And not a scene a dead body then vomit. She was angry and left vomit. Come on now, that's a medical issue at that point. All of Riverdale, but especially the school. Bad guy runs into the school and just starts fist fighting a student. In what school can this grown adult just enter the building and do that crap? These teenagers have a secret speakeasy in a small Midwest town. Nah, real small town Midwestern teenagers drink in fields around a fire. It's just not believable. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.